everybody. Good night, good evening, good morning, good welcome. It is the 22nd and it is 7 o'clock here in the UK, and we are live with another Dream Whiskies live broadcast. Hope you're all well. Looking forward to seeing who's joining us this evening. We have yet another great evening lined up for you. So what have we got going on? Obviously, we're going to start by telling you who are the winners of our most recent whiskey and members prize giveaway competition. So we'll be announcing that soon. Of course, we have our Whiskey Geek of the Week competition, which is gathering momentum, and we have a number of people lined up to try and take the podium in that particular moment of recognition for all whiskey geeks. We have our Whiskey Geek competition that has been put together by Michael Nolan, who is known to many of you as already Richard Webster, who I see is already with us. We have 3 cocktails for this evening, as we always do. Plus, of course, we have our Mix With Me cocktail as well, coming up towards the end of this evening, plus a whole load of other stuff going on. So before we start by having a little drink together, and a little toast for week 25 of our broadcast. Let's see who's with us. And Bruce, hi, how you doing? Hi, Paul, Cheryl, Alfie, and the guy in the corner, if he's still around. Well, the guy in the corner's around, he's just not sitting in the corner. So he might even be tuning in at some point tonight. But hey, Bruce, how you doing? Already, Richard Webster, Michael Nolan, the brain behind tonight's Whiskey Geek of the Week quiz. And if you've got any I guess issues with the questions being too cerebral, then that's who you speak to. But actually, in all seriousness, brilliant quiz we've got coming up tonight. Thank you so much, Michael, for doing that, and loads of plaudits in your direction. Adrian, hi, how you doing? Jeff, great to see you. Cheryl is there saying hi to Bruce. Carl, good evening. Who else we got? Bob, great to see you as always. Bruce, what's going on? Is Barry not here? Where is Barry? I mean, Barry is normally here but not here, if you know what I mean. The fact that he's not here is kind of worrying. Kat, good to see you as well. Gary, as ever. And Kieran, how are you doing? Good to see you all. So you know how the game starts. We start by having a little drink together. This is the whiskey that I've got on the go this evening. So I've got this Glen Glass out. It's the Evolution, which is ex-Tennessee cask. It's really sweet, actually. Not sweet as in sugary sweet, but sweet as in incredible kind of fruity flavors going on. Cask strength, so 50% ABV, which for you guys in the US is 100 proof. And yeah, I mean, a lot of people would normally have this with ice at least, and certainly a splash of water. But I'm just going to go as it comes and have a little drop of that with you guys. Remember, you know how it works. You tell me what you got on the go as well, so we can all say cheers to one another. So cheers from me. What do you have on the go? Rob Mills, hi. How are you doing? Here he is, Barry's here, everyone's happy now that you're here. I'm not here but having trouble with him Facebook. Oh, okay. I hope it's not too much trouble. Bruce is saying, I followed the method you use in the whiskey course and I'm having an old fashioned but with peach bitters. Bruce, you're just a proper full-on mixologist at heart. There's no doubt about that. Paul Musson, good to see you. How you doing? No work tonight. And a glass of Jim Beam. That's... Jim Beam. Well, I think I need to have a bit of a shot of this. Jim Beam in your hand, and good for you. Is it the regular Jim Beam, or have you got any of the single cask stuff going on? Kat, what you got going on here? I'm on the cask strength spade and bushel, so we're all on cask strength tonight. And same with Facebook. Is that for you, Michael Nolan? Tam Navulin tonight for Carl. Hi, Carl. How you doing? I hope you're not having too many problems. Funny enough, we were online, where are we? We're Wednesday night. So Monday night, we were online with some friends of ours that run a kind of an online pub quiz in our local area here. And I know a lot of people were having problems with Facebook that night as well. So I'm hoping that it's not being replicated tonight. Anyway, let's have a little drink. Let me just get that off the screen. That's good. Let me have a little drink with you. So cheers, everyone that's tuned in. I hope you're all well. I hope you are starting to find your way through the end of whatever lockdown you're experiencing in your own countries. And in a moment, we're going to get into some cocktails, but we've got some prize announcements to make. So cheers, everyone. Oh, good. Sweet, beautiful, rounded, definitely a Tennessee cask. But at 50%, it's kind of bites your tongue a little bit. Rob, you got a Glenlivet on the go. Which Glenlivet have you got? Paul saying just the standard Jim Beam tonight. That's okay. Nothing wrong with the standard Jim Beam. Just wondered if you have one of the others going on. All right, here we go. So as you know, excuse me, every week we give away a bottle of whiskey in our members competition. We have given away since February 25 fabulous bottles of whiskey, really superb, to actually not 25 winners because we've already had a couple of double winners in that period. But tonight's winner, or rather the winner of the competition that ended at midnight last night, is Andrew McIntyre. So congratulations, Andrew. Andrew, you have won last week's whiskey competition. You will be getting an official email from me tomorrow. If you're online, say hi. I don't think we've ever seen you online, but what I have found out is that a lot of people who are regular viewers of this broadcast online actually don't say hi. They don't sort of get involved in the comments. So if you are there, Andrew, just give a thumbs up or something like that, and I'll be in touch with you tomorrow. If not, let's all say congratulations to Andrew anyway. So well done, Andrew. What's going on here? Different browser for Barry. I'm back. Good, you're back. Pleased to see it. Lucky Andrew, says Bruce. Yeah, Lucky Andrew for sure. What else have we got? Cheryl's got a question for everyone. Slightly wondering what that might be. We're slightly nervous. You hear it in my voice. Rob, what you got? Founders. Oh, you got Founders. Okay, that's pretty cool. More congratulations. Which brand of whiskey has just launched a paper bottle? Wow, it's a good job nobody put that one in, right? That's my thing to Cheryl, because that's not one of our questions tonight. But if any of you want to answer Cheryl's question, it's kind of interesting, isn't it? So a major brand of whiskey has just launched a paper bottle. And if you've heard about this, you know the answer. And if you haven't heard about this, it sounds kind of weird. But actually, the bottle looks amazing, really. Which of the major brands is that? The major brand thing is the clue. Congrats to Andrew, says Barry. Bruce, what type? Rob, Founders make some great beers. Okay. Well done, Andrew. Founders Reserve. What else is clicking away past me? Okay, you're all good. Of course, Michael Nolan. Already Richard Webster's already come in with Johnny Walker. Here's Johnny Walker Black. Bruce is saying, I just read that one, Cheryl. Yeah, Johnny Walker. Well done, Barry, as well. All right. So we've got our whiskey winner for last week. That's Andrew McIntyre. As you all know, hold on a second. Just let me get it down from my shelf here. Sorry that I'm out of picture for a second, but I also, as our members spot prize giveaway, gave away a copy of my own book. When I say my own book, this is the one that is my most recent book, 101 award-winning cocktails. Some absolutely game-changing cocktail recipes in here. Really delighted with this book, and I'm giving away a copy of this tonight to last week's winner of our spot prize giveaway, and that is, well, the winner is somebody called Mike Jackson. Okay, so Mike Jackson, can we call you Michael Jackson? So Michael Jackson has won that. Michael Jackson is actually going to get a copy of my book. So Mike, are you the Michael Jackson that, I don't know, bad and all of that? No, I don't think that's you, because that Michael Jackson is gone. There was, of course, another very famous Michael Jackson in our kind of industry who was known as the Beer Hunter, and he used to write about whiskey and beer and spirits and cocktails, all that sort of thing, Michael Jackson. You might know him if you're from the UK, and not so much if you're outside the UK. But anyway, neither of those. But Mike, if it's you, if you're there, if you're watching, well done. You've got a copy of my book. Delighted for you all. You're all sort of flying in now with the answer to Cheryl's questions. And she's saying, of course, you all knew, and she knew that you knew. Congratulations to all the winners, says Michael Nolan. What else is going on? Good evening, all present and correct. Dave Chilton, how are you doing? Good to see you, Dave. So before we get into our first cocktail of the evening, and I think I've got 3 really nice cocktails coming up, including our Mix With Me cocktail. And just in case you don't know, by the way, I put the recipe up for the Mix With Me cocktail more than 48 hours ago, so hopefully you've had a chance to put it together. But you need 2 juices, that is passion juice and pineapple juice. You need either a raspberry liqueur, so a creme de framboise, or if you have a raspberry syrup, that is fine. Actually, now I think about it, even a raspberry jam if you don't have any of those. Mike Jackson, there he is! He's in. Normally go by Mike to avoid matches. Okay, got it. But are you actually Michael? Is that what people call you? Michael Jackson. Well done, Mike. Congratulations. I don't even think I've seen your name pop up on here on a live broadcast. Are you normally there, or is this your first evening? What else do you need? Some grenadine syrup and, of course, whiskey. So 5 ingredients for our Mix With Me coming up towards the end of our broadcast. Normally go my mic to, oh, okay, I just read that. Okay, so before we get into our first cocktail of the evening, we are going to go into our Whiskey Geek of the Week quiz. Is slightly different this evening. It's actually been put together for us by Michael Nolan. So what happened was Michael won the competition about 4 weeks ago. It was the 3rd time he'd won, and he was the one that came up with the idea that we ask the winners, if they want, it's not compulsory, to set the questions for the following week, at which point he offered to set the questions. So last week's winner was Barry. Barry, sorry I haven't got your picture up yet, but it will go up tonight. So between Barry and I, there was a bit of a delay in getting the pictures up. So I've asked Michael to do the questions, which is very kindly done. And because he is from New Zealand, which we didn't know until he told me that, of course, he has decided to do an international themed quiz. So it's all about international whiskies. Before I go into this, Michael Jackson, officially a Michael, watch the odd one. Okay, fair enough. So you are Michael Jackson, our winner. So Michael's come up with this internationally themed Whiskey Geek of the Week quiz tonight, and bear that in mind. I've barely touched his quiz. Pretty much everything that he sent to me is his. I've done 1 or 2 slight tweaks to the answers, just to frame them in a different way, really, rather than change what he's put. But as ever, our first 3 questions are going to fall into the anagram category. That's where I give you an anagram that has been set by Michael, and you've got to work out which whiskey or whiskey distillery it is an anagram of. Just to point out that I will say to you right up front, none of them are the obvious ones. So you've got no Scottish whiskies, no Irish, actually no UK whiskies at all. You got nothing from the United States of America. So none of the obvious candidates. This is from other parts of the world. So here we go, you whiskey geeks. Question number 1, 2 and 3 are all anagrams. So number 1 is Tell's Vein. Tell's Vein. If you got a pen or a pencil and some paper, write this down. Tell's Vein is Tellsvein. Tell's Vein. That is an anagram of which whiskey? And in actual fact, if you know what the whiskey is and you know the country, I'll give you a bonus point for the country as well. Excuse me. Question 2. I actually realising my voice is sounding croaky suddenly. I don't know if it makes me sound like I've got a sore throat, or whether it makes me sound like I could do one of those sort of, I don't know, premium rate telephone number things. Okay. Question 2. Moose Neck Rhine. Moose Neck Rhine. So that is moose, M-O-O-S-E, neck, N-E-C-K, and Rhine, as in the river, R-H-I-N-E. So Moose Neck Rhine is an anagram for which whiskey or whiskey distillery? And question 3, shorter and maybe easier, but maybe not. You've got to be a proper geek to get these. Alas Bop. Alas Bop. That is A-L-A-S. and then B-O-P, Alas Bop. Okay, That is questions 1, 2, and 3. Cheryl's saying too much talking. Okay, she's put the answers up, and now we're going to go into cocktail number 1 of the evening. So, as many of you know, I've been producing a number of cocktails and cocktail videos over the last sort of 4, 5, 6 weeks. I've been filming all sorts of stuff, and it's given me some thoughts about what I could do during our broadcast on Wednesday nights. So this one is inspired by one of those cocktails, and I'm calling this a chili car. A chili car. Okay, so for the first time in about 3 or 4 weeks, I've just suddenly realized that Cheryl has started to sabotage the notes that I make for this evening. I won't show you too closely, but fortunately I wasn't caught out by that one. Okay, so a chili car. Now the first thing that we need to do is we need to put a rim on the glass, but not a salt rim. Some of you might remember that maybe a month or 2 ago actually, I used this as a rim for a glass. This is Tajin, which is a multi-spice mix, which is infused with citrus, so it's really citrusy. I think it's probably lime, but it's like a lemony lime flavor. So you get all the spices plus the citrus. I'm going to use this first of all to put a rim on the glass here. So I'm just going to sprinkle some of that here, which hopefully you can see. There we go. Just going to put some of that there on my plate. And then I'm going to take this line, which I'm just going to cut in half down here, slightly out of sight. And then I'm going to, let me show you how I do this. People often ask me because a lot of people put salt rims and whatever on glasses and they make a real mess. But the idea is if you get the rim and you just sit it in something like a citrus fruit like this, there we go. Then what you do is you just put enough of the citrus juice right on the edge of the glass. And so when you put it into the spices in this case, then what you get is a really tidy set of spices on the rim of the glass. So let me just show you there up close. There we go. So nice and tight against the edge of the glass. All right, so we are ready for our drink. Now, for those of you that make notes over this, and I know there's a few of you, I'm going to be using a sugar syrup in this, but this one here, let me just show you. You can see what I've got there is some sugar syrup in this jug, and then I've actually chopped up some pieces of jalapeno pepper, which I've had sitting in there for an hour or so, just to infuse. So what I've got is this sort of jalapeno infused sugar syrup, which is spicy and hot but sweet. And you need this in order to make the cocktail that we're going to make. So let's get this on the go. First thing we're going to do, of course, is we're going to add some of our whiskey. And I'm going to put 35 ml of our whiskey in here. This is our chili car. Our chili car, for those of you that tried to sabotage the name of this cocktail. Now, next thing we want is some of this. I've used this quite a bit in recent cocktails, but it is a staple of many classic cocktails. We've got some triple sec here. This is an orange curacao based liqueur, and this is going to provide us with the sweetness and the citrus flavor as well. And I'm putting in 25 ml of our triple sec. Brands of this, obvious brands of this are Cointreau, which is a brandy triple sec, and of course you've got Grand Marnier, which is a kind of triple sec, certainly a curacao as well. Now what I want to do is I'm going to take my juice squeezer here, and I'm going to squeeze the juice of this lime, and I'm going to get the whole lime into there. So if you're making notes for yourself and you don't have one of these squeezers, I would suggest either go out and buy one, or just give yourself a little bit more time to either use a spoon or a fork or something to squeeze it against, or a traditional fruit juice squeezer as well. But these things are absolutely amazing. Also known as Mexican elbows as well. Now what we got here is the syrup, so the sugar syrup. Now you can just put sugar syrup in, but it's worth making this infusion because this infusion is really flavoursome. So it's not just simply hot, but also you get the natural flavours of the jalapeno coming through. And I'm putting in, obviously I'm going to use this. I've got a little fine strainer like a tea strainer, so it catches the bits of jalapeno. I'm just going to pour this through. So we got about 10 ml of the sugar, and it will catch anything that drops out of that. There we go. All right, that's good. Let's just pop that on the side there. So we're nearly there. What Cheryl's saying, I think you should take it in turns to send in your own recipes for me to try. What do you think? Honestly, right? So Cheryl's gone from sabotaging my notes to now sabotaging, the whole idea of what we're doing here. Right, taking my tin or my can, gonna fill it up with ice, at least a scoop and a half anyway. Gonna pour everything in, and then we are gonna give this a really good shake for our chili car. Here we go. All right, good shake. Nicely done. Let's just take that off of there. I'm going to take my strainer, and then we're going to take our tagine rimmed glass and strain into that glass. So this is a kind of, I guess, sort of 1920s, 1930s style coupette. Because now when we do coupettes, they tend to be much bigger. But these older glasses, although this is not an original, it's based on an older glass, they tend to be much smaller, and I think it makes a lot more sense. But there we go. Let me show you that a little bit closer up. So we have our chili car with our jalapeno infused syrup into our tagine rimmed glass for our first cocktail. And in actual fact, I'm going to pop that there. I'm feeling quite safe for those of you that know who normally nicks these drinks. This is definitely not in the sweet spot as far as Cheryl is concerned, so I don't think she's going to be stealing this. I might even have a little drink about that myself. Okay, what's going on here? Paul Masson, actually replying to Cheryl, never attempted to create my own cocktail before, but willing to give it a go, and I know it needs a cherry. They all know you, darling, right? They all know what you like in a cocktail. Fine. Listen, maybe there's an opportunity for us to do some kind of online competition between us all. Maybe I should invite you to send in your recipes. Actually, that's an idea. If I invite you guys to send in your recipes and then I mix them up one night and maybe we find out who the best mixologist that you guy is. Bruce, what are you saying? I'm growing nandapenos in my garden. They're jalapenos with full flavor, but no heat. Okay. Nada means nothing. Yes, absolutely. Okay, Cheryl, let's do it. You send your recipe to Paul. He can mix it next week and I can try it. Sounds like we've got a deal on. If you feel like creating your cocktail recipe, you need to get it to me by Monday, next Monday the latest, just so I've got some time to think it through. All right, good job. So that's our cocktail number one. We've got our next part of our Whiskey Geek of the Week coming up. Another little cheers to you all. Actually, I didn't even taste that. Maybe I should taste it just to check it's spectacular. Oh, this is my absolute favourite style of cocktail. I love sour cocktails. This is not only delicious, but the jalapeno syrup gives it a really, actually quite subtle heat, to be honest. It's not over hot. And then drinking it through that tagine rim on, just fantastic. Really loving that. Okay. All right. So if you are playing our Whiskey Geek of the Week this week, we've got questions 4, 5, and 6 coming up. Again, many thanks to Michael Nolan for setting the questions. You are obviously a 3-times winner yourself, so huge Whiskey Geek star, but really appreciate you sending in these questions. And here is question number 4. Here we go. And I like this question, actually. So apparently, one of India's most famous actors, one of India's most famous actors, around about the 50s and 60s, had his first acting role as a drunk. And he was given the name of a very famous whiskey, which was slightly misspelled. But what was that whiskey? So you need to think, what whiskey is very famous and also would make complete sense as the name of a drunk person? What was the name of the whiskey that was given to this Indian actor as his drunk character? Okay, that was question number 4. Dave Chilton, what's going on? We'll try this one with my homegrown chilies. Sounds good, liking that. cocktail name is very close to my nickname at school. What was that? Tell us what that was, Dave. Cheryl saying, is it clean enough to share? Right, okay. Fair enough. Okay, question number 5, everyone. Question number 5, you whiskey geeks, you want to be whiskey geeks. How many countries worldwide actually have whiskey distilleries that make whiskey? So interestingly, people tend to think that outside of the USA and the United Kingdom, which of course is Ireland and Scotland, plus also Wales and England make whiskey as well. But people generally tend to think that there's hardly anywhere else that makes whiskey. But I'm going to tell you now that it's quite a big number. So this is a multiple choice question, and they are all big numbers actually. So how many countries worldwide have distilleries that make whiskey? Is it A, 27, B, 41, C, 55, or D, 62? So is it A, B, C, or D, 27, 41, 55, or 62 countries that actually produce whiskey? That's question 5. Okay, let's see. Question 6 is a pretty good one as well. Let's just move these out the way so we are ready to go for question number 6. Actually, just reminded me that tonight's spot prize giveaway for our members, so members only spot prize giveaway, decided that we're going to offer something really quite interesting. Quite a lot of you are really passionate about mixing drinks and making cocktails. We obviously all know that Bruce is a definite natural-born mixologist, but a lot of you like to get the old cocktail shaker out and do your own creativity. And if you're going to be good with cocktails, you need bitters. And this week's spot prize giveaway for our members is this. It's some bitters, some orange bitters, by Gary Reagan. It's Gary Reagan's Orange Bitters. Now, Gary was certainly a legend of the cocktail industry. I knew Gary reasonably well. When I went to America, I appeared on his radio show. I contributed to some of his books. He contributed to some of my books. In fact, I got a recipe of his in this book over here. Great guy, really. An Englishman who moved to America in his 20s and spent the next 50 plus years there. We lost him a few years ago, but Gary produced these bitters, and one of you will win these bitters. And if you're heavily into your cocktails, these are an amazing prize for you guys to have. So that's our spot prize of the week this week. Back down to question number 6 on this week's Whiskey Geek of the Week. Again, thanks very much to Michael Nolan. The question is, how much would you pay for the world's most expensive bourbon, Michter's Celebration Sour Mash? Okay, Michter's Celebration Sour Mash. Oh, Cheryl's saying, where's my bobblehead? Where is my bobblehead? Hold on a second. I've got it down here. I need to look. Oh, here it is. Okay. So I'm just going back to the prize. Sorry, I'm going to give you the multiple choice for that. So Cheryl said, where's my bobblehead? This is my bobblehead. So when Gary was alive, he used to run the what we call essentially the Oscars of the global bar industry. And instead of having an Oscar, you could win a Gaza after Gary Reagan. So 1 year I actually won a Gaza for contribution to the global mixology scene, and this was my Oscar or my Gaza. So this is my 2012 Gary Reagan bobblehead Gaza. There you go. All right. So here we go. How much would you pay for the world's most expensive bourbon, Michter's Celebration Sour Mash? Is it A, between $1,200 and $3,600? Is it B, between $3,600 and $5,000? Or is it C, between $5,000 and $7,200? Is it A, B, or C? Put your answers down, and that is question number 6, and we're going to go into our second cocktail of the evening coming up soon. Michael Nolan saying nice prize. Yeah, nice prize indeed. Really good prize, actually. Dave Chilton, if I may remind a few people, and then all the pain will start again. It may remind a few people, and then all the pain will start again. You're replying to Bruce, because that sounded kind of out there. I wasn't entirely sure what you were talking about there. All right, here we go. Okay. This cocktail is called something. I can't remember what it's called because someone's changed the name. What did I call it? I really can't remember. Okay, I'm going to have to think about what this is called. We're going to call this cocktail number 2 for the evening. And it is actually based on another cocktail that I've been making over the last couple of weeks in the videos that I've been producing. And it's kind of inspired by a cocktail called a silk stocking. So if you look behind me here, you can see I've got a ton of tequila on the bar at the moment. And this El Jimador tequila is there because I've been making these sort of tequila cocktail course videos. And a silk stocking is a tequila-based cocktail which has inspired me for this one, the name of which I can't remember because someone has knocked it out for me this evening. Nevertheless, it is a fabulous after-dinner style cocktail. Uses cream. It's very much in the genre of things like a brandy Alexander, but so much more fruit and flavour and spice and punch to it as well. What are you saying to me, Bruce? Remind him what it really is, Cheryl, you naughty girl. I don't even know what's going on there. Seems like all of you are talking to my wife, not even listening to what's going on. I mean, it's just, hey, what's going on? All right, so while you are all having banter over there, I'm going to show you how to make this fabulous cocktail. And I know that at some point, Cheryl's going to jump out from where she is and steal at least one of my cocktails and probably sabotage my notes even further. So we're going to start with our whiskey. And our whiskey is the same whiskey that we've been using this evening. And again, I'm going in for about 30 ml. So slightly less than we used in our first cocktail this evening. So there is 30 ml of our whiskey. Next thing we're going to do is we are going to start to add some flavour. So the flavours that we are using are creme de cacao. And for those of you that don't know what creme de cacao is, we've got chocolate, which is the base flavour, and then vanilla, which tends to infuse it. So it's a vanilla chocolate. And we want 25 ml. So let's get the 25 ml in there. There we go. Very nice indeed. And then we're going to add some fruit flavour to this. And the fruit flavour that we're going to add is a creme de mûre. And creme de mûre is a blackberry liqueur. Some people call it black raspberry liqueur, but it's a blackberry liqueur. And it's very different, for example, to something like creme de cassis, which is a black currant liqueur. So you've got to be able to differentiate between the two. So we've got our blackberry liqueur, our creme de mûre. And I'm going to put 20 ml in, so slightly less than everything else that has gone in there this evening. But that will start to change the colour. That's very good as well. And then, because we've already got our creme de cacao in there, I'm also going to add a little bit of chocolate syrup. And so this is gratuitously sweet syrup, which is chocolate flavour, and obviously based on sugar and nothing else, no alcohol in there. And we put in 5 ml of that. The last thing that we want to put in is this, and I've got some cream in here, and I'm putting in a 35 ml of a single cream. I'm not sure what you call single cream actually in the States. Do you call it light cream? I know you call double cream heavy cream, so do you call this light cream? I'm not entirely sure. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some ice. We're going to get everything into our shaker. Just going to tap that down before we give that a shake. Just want to get my martini glass in place. And then we are going to give it a shake. Ah, it's a cotton gatte, yes. Cheryl, I want to see him sweat for a while. Well, thank you for that. It's a cotton gatte. I remember now. This is a cotton gatte. Here we go. Give it a shake. All right. This one's looking good. I think this one might be of interest to my wife. I'm not entirely sure, but I think she might like this. And let's strain that up. It's got, obviously because of the blackberries, you've got this sort of wonderful off purple colour in there. And you just bring that up to the top of the glass. And there we go. Now, in terms of garnish, the obvious garnish for this, and what I've got here, there you go. The obvious garnish is some cinnamon. So we're just going to sprinkle a little bit of cinnamon over the surface of the drink. Actually, I just put a tiny bit more in there. That's good. And then we are done. So that is our cotton garter. Let me see if I can bring it in a little bit closer for you. Bruce, what are you saying? Yes, light cream, double cream is heavy cream. Okay, cool. What are you saying? Bruce saying my wife would love that one. Well, I think my wife might love that one as well. So I'm just going to pop this over here, where all of you are wondering where the Scarlet Pimpernel, otherwise known as my wife, has been this evening. I think she's just given you a clue there. All right, so that is cocktail number 2 for the evening. Just rinsing off my strainer for that, and we're going to go on to the third cocktail in a short while. And the third cocktail is going to be our Mix With Me cocktail for this evening. So if you are going to mix along with me, which I have to admit, fewer and fewer of you have actually been doing this, but what you will need is you need some pineapple juice, some passion juice, some grenadine, some framboise. In other words, that is a raspberry liqueur, or you can have a raspberry syrup, or you can have a raspberry jam. So any of those, plus of course our whiskey. So that's coming up shortly. Our creme de framboise based Mix With Me cocktail. And it's gone as ever. Okay, Cheryl, that is bloody delicious. That's even swearing online. I'm not even sure if we have a certificate for that, but yeah, well, that's good news, actually. You know, if the boss likes that, then everything is good. Okay, so we've managed to do the cotton garter. What else have we got going on there? No more chat actually at the moment. So let's move into the third section of our Mix With Me, not our Mix With Me coming up. Let's move into the third section of our Whiskey Geek of the Week quiz. What are you saying? I can really taste the creme de mure. Well, how about that? I'm pleased to hear that. Okay, question number 7, you Whiskey Geeks. Who is it going to be this week? Remember, if you win our Whiskey Geek competition, you get your face up on our gallery, on our website, plus posted on our page. Now, Barry from last week hasn't had his picture put up yet. That is partly to do with him, because it took him quite a few days to get the picture to me, and partly to do with me, because my head's been buried in filming some stuff over the last few days, so struggled to get it up, but I will get Barry's up. Just to say that because Barry is a man of mystery, you might see his whiskey and things like his arms and his shoulders, but actually you won't necessarily see his identity. But he will be up there. But who else is going to be joining Barry? Well, we're going to find out. Will it be you? So, question 7. Of the world's 25 most expensive whiskies, how many of them are not Scottish? Okay, so if you take the world's 25 most expensive whiskies and you take all the Scottish ones out, how many are not? Okay, so the answer is either A, B, or C. Is it A, 2? Is it B, 3? Or is it C, 4? Okay, so is it 2, 3, or 4? How many of the most expensive whiskies in the world are not Scottish out of the top 25? Is it 2, 3, or 4? And for a bonus question, can you name the countries? So if you think it's 2, we need 2 countries, I guess. Is it 3, we need 3 countries, and so on and so forth. So can you name the countries? If you get the countries as well as the answer right, I will give you bonus points. What are you saying, Barry? Blame me. Okay, I blame you. I don't really blame you. But hey, what the hell? Let's blame you. Question number 8. What is the proof of what is possibly the strongest bourbon made. So we're talking about Elijah Craig's barrel proof bourbon. So what is the proof of Elijah Craig's barrel proof bourbon? Is it 64% alcohol, which is 128 proof? Is it 67.3% alcohol, which is 135 proof? Or is it 68% alcohol, which is 136 proof? And by the way, just to add something to your question here, Michael, honestly, I don't think anyone should be drinking any of those without some water or something in them. You know, that's just far too strong to drink. Bruce is saying, well, Barry isn't all here, so that explains a lot. Okay. All right, cool. Number 9, question number 9. Here we go. I quite like this question, actually. So, which nation, which country on the planet is the world's top consumer of whiskey? In other words, which country drinks the most whiskey? What can I give you? I think I'm going to give you this. It is 3 times as much as the country in second place. In fact, it's more than 3 times as much as the country in second place. So, which country drinks the most whiskey? And it is more than 3 times as much as the country in second place. All right, that is question 7, 8, and 9. We actually have only 2 more questions coming up after our next cocktail, but our next cocktail is the Mix With Me cocktail. So let me show you what you need to play in this Mix With Me game. So we're going to start with this. Oh no, we're going to start with this. So obviously you need your whiskey, whatever your whiskey is. I have, by the way, some raspberry liqueur, some creme de framboise. That's what I'm using. But if you don't have the raspberry liqueur, you can use a raspberry syrup, or you can use, quite frankly, a raspberry jam. Or if you have nothing of raspberry, you can use other things, right? So you can use strawberry or lemon or mango or whatever. But I've set it as a raspberry drink, so you play with that. Then we're going to have some juice. So in here I have some passion juice. Let's just pop that to the back there. And then here I have some pineapple juice. And then finally, I have some grenadine. Now, if you've been doing this with me over the last few weeks, actually over the last few months during lockdown, you should have quite a few of these ingredients. All right, what's going on here? Bruce is saying hi to Kaz. Kaz, hi to all. Sorry for very late tonight. Kaz, we're just thrilled you're here. You don't have to apologize. We're delighted you're here. Kat is in. Kat, who also has, I know, a decent cocktail set, so hopefully you're going to put that to good use. Cheryl saying, hi, Kat, I posted all the cues if you want to catch up. Yeah, so Kat, if you want to catch up with the Whiskey Geek of the Week competition, Cheryl's posted them in the comment section all the way back to the front, so you can check that out. Okay, let me get rid of this. Let's give Kaz a chance to pick up. And any of you that are going to mix this cocktail with me, I'm going to give you a chance to pick up as well. So cheers. Okay, so I'm going to be putting this in a goblet. You've seen me use this before. This is actually a wine glass. But actually sometimes wine glasses, in particular white wine glasses, the smaller of the two, actually present a good vessel to put a cocktail of this sort of size and genre into. So here we go. I've got a name for this, and I'm called... I've been properly sabotaged tonight. I'm not even trying to cover it up. I've been completely flattened by this. So let me see if I can remember this. This is called a passion lady. No, a passionate lady. This drink is called a passionate lady. And I was inspired to actually get you guys to get these ingredients and to produce this recipe by another cocktail that I've been filming over the last few weeks, which is a Porn Star Martini. And I think I spoke to you about the Porn Star Martini a little while ago. But an old colleague of mine by the name of Douglas Ankara invented the Porn Star Martini. So I'm assuming that most of you have heard of this drink. And he invented it. When he invented it, he actually called it a Maverick Martini. And then the more he thought about it, the more he thought, you know what? I think a porn star would love to drink this. It's a kind of sexy cocktail, blah, 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 blah. I'll call it the Porn Star Martini, which is what he did. But the base flavor to the Porn Star Martini is passion fruit. And that's why I produced this. And that's what inspired me for this. And that's why I've given it the name of a passionate lady. A passionate lady. Kieran, you're making the drink. Excellent. Cheryl's saying, damn, she prefers her name. I can tell you her name, actually. I can tell you her name because compared to what she normally writes down for me, this is actually broadcastable. Cheryl changed the name of this one to Pussy Galore. Pussy Galore. You know what? In 25 weeks, that is the first time I've been able to actually tell you what she's written, compared to others which are not broadcastable. Bruce, what you got going on there? You'd better change your password and your tablet. You see, the worst thing is I don't have a tablet, Bruce. This is Cheryl's tablet. So I send my notes to her. She brings them up on her tablet and then gives me the tablet after, obviously, completely sabotaging what's going on. All right, so here we go. Our Mix With Me cocktail tonight. If you are playing along, fantastic. Remember, send me a picture of what you're doing. I know I keep saying that I'm going to be putting up a gallery, but I am working on it. The last few weeks have been kind of difficult in terms of time-wise and other stuff going on. But I promise you, I am putting together a gallery of all your photographs. So please keep sending them to me. Cheryl, laugh out loud. Yeah, I'm glad you're enjoying yourself. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, so for our Mix With Me cocktail this week, we are going to start by taking 35ml again. So these are all 1.5 shots of our whiskey. So 35ml. There we go. And into your shaker, whatever it is that you are using. So your shaker, there we go. Sorry, I'm just intrigued by the GIF that Cheryl has put up here. Okay. This has almost become like some kind of personal I know, sort of battle between Cheryl and I know who's losing, and it's not her. Okay, so we've got 35ml of our whiskey in there. I'm taking my creme de framboise. If you're using syrup, if you're using jam, if you're using another liqueur with a different flavour, but you're putting it in the place, this is what you're going to put in now. And we're going for 25ml, so this is now about 3/5 essentially of what we put in before. So there we go. So it's a sort of 5-to-3 ratio. There we go. And raspberry, I actually find raspberry, if you are using raspberry, is a really aromatic and powerful liqueur. So no matter what you mix it with, whether it's gin or vodka or whiskey, in our case, it really punches through. So you get a lot of flavour from it. I've got some grenadine, which I would normally put in last, but I'm going to just drop some of the grenadine in now. And I can tell you it's equivalent to 2 bar spoons. And 2 bar spoons would be 10ml. So actually I've noticed Paul Slade is not here tonight. We've obviously lost Paul tonight. But Paul, I know, tends to generally write down what's going on. So maybe if you are catching up with this, you're watching this during the week, Paul, that was 10ml. I think Paul's actually going to write down all my recipes and release a book, which I will buy because I've forgotten the recipe. So I'll buy your book, Paul. Now let's go into the juice, and first of all some pineapple juice. And I put pineapple juice in because it's sweet and fruity, but it's pulpy and it's soft in the mouth. And actually pineapple juice is a very different experience to drink compared to, for example, orange juice or cranberry or that sort of thing. So pineapple juice is there as much for mouthfeel as it is for flavour, but very much for flavour as well. And I put 40ml of pineapple juice in. And then finally what I've got here is passion fruit juice. And that's where I got my inspiration from with the Porn Star Martini. And I'm putting 45ml of that in. So we're very close in terms of all the measurements, but they're all slightly offset from one another. And the reason you do that with a cocktail is if you slightly offset something, you help a maybe lesser flavour come through and balance against a stronger flavour. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some ice, as we have done before. Get some ice in there, and then let's close up our shaker. There we go, and let's give it a good shake. Here we go. All right, shaking away. Are you shaking with me? You mix with me, babies? All right, good. This is actually looking really nice. So, we're going to strain this straight up into our glass. I'm actually going to swirl that a bit because we've got some froth in there that I want to bring out. And it will settle towards the top of the glass. And if you've got the right size glass to go with the right size drink, then you'll end up about here in your glass. And there we go. So I'm going to garnish this actually. So Cheryl is very green-fingered. She grows a lot of things in our garden, not just pretty to look at, but loads of herbs. And we've got this huge pot of mint, which we use for things like chocolate mojitos. And I'm actually going to take some of the chocolate mint, which I've got here, and I'm just going to pop that into the top of the glass like so. And there we go. So this is our Passionate Lady. This is our Mix With Me cocktail. There you go. I'll bring it a little bit closer for you guys. Looking very nice there. Very, very nice. Bloody is not swearing. My nana used to say, bloody in the Bible, bloody in the book. If you don't bloody believe me, take a bloody look. Well, good for your nan, Paul. I'm loving that. Michael saying, I think Cheryl wants her own spin-off series. And then Cheryl was saying to Paul that her mum says it as well. Yeah, and Dave agrees with Michael. Yeah, do you think my wife is trying to take over? Definitely. Definitely. We've actually been talking about Cheryl coming in as a guest. So I don't know if you remember, it's quite a few months ago now, certainly before lockdown, but Cheryl sat in here as a guest, and we've been talking about getting Cheryl in as a guest for the last few weeks. Hasn't happened, but I'm guessing by all of your interactions with my wife that in actual fact you would quite like her as a guest. So let's try and get her in here next week. That way, if she wants to drink the cocktails, she doesn't have to steal them. She can just sit in front of a lot of you and drink them. Which actually, if you remember, is exactly what she did last time. And it almost fell off the stool. Anyway, no idea where she is at the moment. But I'm sure at some point she's going to be throwing up some kind of comment somewhere.
Throwing up.
Oh, there she is. There she is. If you
up.
only knew where she was, then there she is. I mean, so close to being in front of the camera. Cheryl's saying, what should we call it? The series? Yeah, I don't know. Maybe there's something in that. What do you think of that cocktail?
I like that one. That was very nice.
She likes that one.
Very nice indeed. I prefer the other one.
Okay.
That was very nice.
Prefers number 2, likes number 3.
Number 1.
Number 1? No, number 1's not for you. Number 1's not for you. All right, everyone. So we're looking for our Whiskey Geek of the Week for this week. Our 3 cocktails are done. Remember, if you did the Mix With Me cocktail, or for that matter, any of our cocktails, please send me your photographs on Messenger. Really appreciate any effort you make to actually take a photograph and send it to us, and we will be putting that in. Kat's gone yum. I'm assuming that's a yum because you made it and you like it. And it's a gorgeous cocktail, actually, I think. Really fruity and delicious. All right, here we go. Whiskey Geeks, last few questions, and then we find out who our Whiskey Geek of the Week is. Already Richard Webster. Michael, what are you saying? How to drink cocktails and stay on your stool. What's that? The name of the new series? Cheryl, did you see that? Michael's got a title for your series. Okay, here we go. Question number 10. Courtesy of Michael, obviously. Since 2007, how many countries, other than Scotland and Japan, have won the World Whisky Award for the world's best single malt? So we all know that Scotland have won it loads of times. Japan actually won it quite a few times. But apart from those 2 countries, since 2007, how many countries have won it? How many other countries have won it? And again, if you get the countries, I'll give you bonus points, okay? So there's a bonus point for each country. Obviously, if there's only one other country, you only get one bonus point. But if there's multiple countries, you get multiple bonus points, assuming you get them. That was question 10. All right. And because we've had so many bonus points this evening, question 11 is going to be our last question for this. Actually, I'm going to dive into my first cocktail. It's been screaming at me all night. I've got a real taste for sour drinks. Oh, that is gorgeous. Question 11. Actually, you know what? Love this question, Michael. Well done. Mark Coyle. I've missed it. Catch up it is. Hang in there, Mark. Just hang in there anyway. That's cool. If you go back and watch it, you can see me say hang in there again. Kieran, it's nice. It's nice. It's not the same as yum, but I'm assuming that's a thumbs up. So pleased with that. Of course, I know Kieran's also got a decent set of cocktail equipment there. Question 11. So I want to know, in 1870s, New Zealand, by the way, I think Michael is from New Zealand. Didn't realise that until he sent me the questions, but I think he's from New Zealand. So in 1870s New Zealand, why was a dram of imported Scotch or Australian whiskey often called a chair? In other words, why was whiskey from Scotland or Australia imported into New Zealand in the 1870s referred to as a chair? A chair, you know, like a chair. So three answers here for you, A, B and C. A, it was called a chair because the seas were so rough, it was a joke about being seasick. It was called a chair because B, it was so watered down, it didn't have the strength to stand up. Or C, it took so long to get there, it was so old, it needed to sit down. Wow, there you go. I'm hoping that Cheryl hasn't put up any of the answers. Let's have a look. Check what she's doing. Blah, 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 blah. No, very good. So Cheryl's put the questions, 10 and 11 up there for you. Plus all the answers. Question 11. Why was it called a chair? 1870s New Zealand. A, B or C? Take a look at the answers in there. I'm just going to give you a moment or two to pull your answers together. And then we're going to go back and find out who our Whiskey Geek of the Week is for this week. So, while we're doing that, just a reminder that if you are a member, we're giving away a spot prize this week of Reagan's Orange Bitters number 6. Absolutely fabulous. They are incredibly good in an old fashioned, which for you as whiskey lovers, I'm assuming is of entire relevance. Gary was an amazing guy, really liked him. Good colleague and long distance friend, I would say. Sorry that he's gone, but you got something from Gary Reagan if you win this week's competition. Remember, if you're not a member, you know what to do. I know lots of you that watch this are not members, but just head over to our site and sign up. Become a member. Trust me, membership is at such a low level that the members are cashing in big time. We give away an amazing bottle of whiskey every single week. We give these spot prizes away. You get free online whiskey mixology course, which retails at £60, which, by the way, is more than a year's worth of membership on its own, plus all sorts of other bits and pieces going on. Just sign up, and we need you to sign up. If you love these broadcasts and everything that we do, we need you to sign up, because if you don't sign up and we don't keep getting more of you signing up, then eventually we're going to struggle to hold on, so which none of you want, right? So sign up, you know what's going on. Cheryl saying, have I ever put up the answers? No, I don't think so. Don't think you have. Okay. Offer the, Michael saying, offer the chair, not call the chair. That's what you wrote. Okay. So, question 11 from Michael was not, why was a dram of imported Scotch whiskey often called a chair? Not called a chair, sorry. Why was it often offered a chair? Sorry, my fault. Actually, that's not the first time. I remember Paul Musson also correcting me on stuff that I did. So why was it often offered a chair? A, because the seas were so rough, it was a joke about being seasick. B, it was so watered down, it didn't have the strength to stand up. C, it took so long to get there, it was so old, it needed to sit down. Thank you, Michael. Sorry about that. Okay, so how it goes. I'm going to go through the answers any second now. Give yourself a point for any correct answer you get. Where there are bonus points, I will let you know along the way. The person with the highest total will become this week's Whiskey Geek of the Week for Dream Whiskies. You'll be on you'll be in our gallery on our website. You'll be on our Facebook page, along with Barry, who is still our man of mystery and will be up there as well at the same time. And if there is a tie, we have a tie break question. Now, I've actually used already Michael's tie break question, but I've had a tie break question in the wings for a few weeks, so we can use that. Kat, what are you saying? I think Cheryl drank my cocktail. Okay. Cheryl, did you drink her cocktail? What's going on? All right, here we go. Questions, answers, Whiskey Geek of the Week. Is it going to be you? I hope so. Always good to see a different face. First 3 questions were all anagrams. The question was, do you know the whiskey? Do you actually know the country? I don't even remember if I said that. Did I say that to you? Bonus points if you get that. Here we go. I think I said that. So question 1. Question 1 was Tell's Vein. Tell's Vein, T-E-L-L-S-V-E-I-N, Tell's Vein. That was Nestville. Nestville. So if you got Nestville, you get 1 point. And if you knew what country it came from, you get another point. The country it came from is Slovakia. And Michael put down here that he put this one in especially for Lubka, who is, I think you're with us now, aren't you, Lubka? But yeah, so if you got Nestville, that's 1. If you got Slovakia, that is a bonus point. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Okay. Question number 2. Moose Neck Rhine. That was an anagram. Have you managed to work that out? That is Moonshine Creek. Moonshine Creek. These are really good anagrams, Michael. Pretty tough, I've got to be honest. Moonshine Creek. 1 point for that. And if you got the country is Canada, another point. So potential 6 points in these first 3 questions. Question number 3. Alas Bop. Alas Bop. And that is Boplas. Boplas. If you got Boplas, that is 1 point. And if you got the country, South Africa, that is another bonus point. So potential 6 points there. Question 4. One of India's most famous actors in his heyday, 50s and 60s, had his first acting role as a drunk person. He was named after a very famous whiskey. What was the whiskey? He was called Johnny Walker. Johnny Walker. If you got Johnny Walker, you got a point. What's going on back here? He said a number of things twice tonight. I think he's been drinking again. Uh-oh. Is that right? Okay. Bruce made the mix with me pretty good. Will be better if I find some proper passion fruit juice instead of the passion fruit. Yeah, that's definite. If you use passion fruit, which is amazing for a porn style martini, it's quite sour. Passion fruit juice is quite sweet. It makes a real difference. Question number 5. How many countries worldwide have distilleries that make whiskey? So this is an interesting one because we tend to think of the British Isles, we think of America, maybe Japan, etc., etc. The answer is C, 55. 55 countries have distilleries that make whiskey. 55. Amazing. Question 6. Michael wants to know, how much would you pay for the world's most expensive bourbon? It's Michter's Celebration Sour Mash. It was A, B, or C. The answer was B. B is between $3,600 and $5,000. So you pay up to $5,000. Cheryl saying, can't wait to see it. Did you use a pineapple for your vessel? Okay, this that's against the background of the cucumber vessel from last week. Yeah, pretty cool. Honestly, Bruce, I don't know what you do for a living, but really, maybe you should be publishing your recipes. Certainly your idea is pretty cool. Kat saying, I had no grenadine, squeezed juice out of 2 passion fruits and had a raspberry and lemon cordial, but it was yum. Well, look, Kat, I got to tell you, you've made your own cocktail there. So the fact that it was yum, I can't take any credit for that. I think you have to take all the credit yourself. That is so far removed from what I did. You've made your own drink there, but actually, you know what? Sounds pretty cool. Very creative questions from Michael. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so where were we? Mrs. Bourbon. Okay, question 7. Of the world's 25 most expensive whiskies, how many are not Scottish? I gave you 2, 3, or 4. This is question 7, 2, 3, or 4. The answer is 2. So if you got 2, you are correct. Give yourself a point. Then I said if you name the countries, you can get some bonus points. So there's a point for each here. So of the world's 25, the ones that are not Scottish are Japanese and American. So if you've got Japan and USA, or Japan or USA, a point for each. Good job if you've got all of those, or any of those for that matter. Question 8. What is the proof or strength of what is possibly the strongest bourbon made? And what we're talking about is Elijah Craig's barrel proof. Was it A, B, or C? 128, 135, or 136? The answer is C. It is 136 proof. That is 68% alcohol. And honestly, let me tell you, in a bar that I had many years ago, the strongest thing on my bar was something called Polish Pure Spirit, which was 69% alcohol. And nobody in Poland drinks Polish Pure Spirit neat. If you've got Polish Pure Spirit, they mix it with honey and juice, and they stretch it out and they stretch it out, so it's easier to drink. But it's only people from outside of Poland that think it's a challenge to drink it. And 69% is something that I tried when I was in Poland. It nearly blew my head off of my shoulders. So this at 68% is equally as psychotic, I think. But if you got C, that's a point for you. 9. Which nation is the world's top consumer of whiskey? Do you know this? Because they are by far the biggest consumer of whiskey. A lot of people think it's China because their population is huge, but it's another huge population country. It's India. India is the answer. If you've got India, give yourself a single point. And India, interestingly, is also the home of some of the, over the last 10 years at least, some of the whiskies that have won the world's best single malt whiskey. Michael writes a little note here. He said, though the majority of Indian whiskey is made from sugar and not grain, which disqualifies it in the EU and the US, which of course it would, because it needs to be made from grain. But nevertheless, they drink a huge amount of whiskey, and they also make some amazing whiskies from grain, including some of the best in the world. What else is going here? Thanks, Bruce. It was fun talking about the quiz. He's doing a good job. Polish spirit called holy water. Yes. Cheryl, you told me that I was the strongest thing in your bar. I am the strongest thing here. Yeah, absolutely. I fell for that chat up line. Yeah, but that was a long time ago. You can't still be thinking that you fell for that. Steve Simpson. Hey, apologies, guys. Little girl wouldn't go down tonight. She's asleep now. I'll catch up tomorrow. Got a Lefroy quarter cask. Well, cheers to you. I'm glad that your little girl is asleep, but cheers to you, Steve. Thank you for joining. Very close to the end, but always good to see our regulars live. Cheers. Kat, what are you saying? We got a cherry liqueur in Scilly called Fuoco. Is that right? Fuoco degli Etna, Fire of Etna, which is 70% delicious and lethal. Wow. 70%, that is awesome. Where are you from, Kat? Is that Scilly, as in the Scilly Isles? Is that right? Is that related to Mount Etna? Where are you? Okay, so let's give you the last 2 questions. Let's find out who our Whiskey Geek of the Week is here. We're kind of wondering a bit. I say we, I mean me, obviously. Question 10 was, since 2007, how many countries other than Scotland and Japan have won the World Whiskey Award for the world's best single malt? So not a multiple choice. So other than Scotland and Japan, you know, the countries that are the obvious ones, since 2007, how many countries have won that award? The answer is 3. 3. And there are some bonus points up for grabs. So if you get any one of these, that is an extra point. So the three countries are Australia. Wow, mind blown. I mean, if you think about it, Australia make a lot of beer, right? So I guess that leads on to whiskey, but pow. Taiwan and Ireland. Ireland makes more sense to me, but amazing to see. And I kind of love that, really, because we assume that the places we know for whiskey historically make the best whiskey. But actually, why should that be the case? So Australia, Taiwan and Ireland. What's going on here? Loads of so Cheryl was saying Sicily is near Italy, but I think Kat said, oh, Sicily. Okay, I thought she said Scilly, as in the Scilly Isles, but Sicily, of course, is near Italy. Bruce, I'm a computer IT tech support specialist. Okay, to keep myself sane, I have to think outside the box. Listen, anyone who's a computer IT tech support specialist needs to be an expert in alcohol for sure. So you're holding up the flag there. Good job, Bruce. Pleased to hear that. Kat, Northern Ireland, but that was from Sicily. Okay, got that now. That was me. I read Scilly, as in the Scilly Isles. I couldn't think how Etna had... anyway, you all know where I'm going with that. What is the... Oh, thank you, Homer Simpson doll going on. And the last question, which relates to Michael's place of birth, I think. Question 11. Why, in 1870s, New Zealand was a dram of imported Scotch or Australian whiskey often offered a chair. And it was A, B, or C. The answer was B. B. It was so watered down, it didn't have the strength to stand up. So, I think that we are potentially at 16 or 17 tonight. I'm not entirely sure, but you know, it entirely depends on your ability to be truthful. But please, put up your scores in the comments box. If you played along with our Whiskey Geek of the Week competition this week, put up your scores in the comments box. We'll pick the winner, obviously the one that gets the highest score. If two or more of you have got the same score, we'll run. I've got my tiebreak question here, and we're all cool for that. In the meantime, you know what the prize is for the spot prize giveaway. That's for our members. 4 questions for that. I'm not going to read them out, but they are on our website. The link is in the description, as indeed is the link to signing up to become a Dream Whiskies member, as indeed is the link, whether you are a member or not, to become a Dream Whiskies affiliate and actually make some money along with us. And let me tell you, if you make some money out of us, it means we're making some money too. We all make money, and Dream Whiskies keeps firing away. So, what are your scores? What have you got? Who are our winners tonight? Bruce is saying plus. I'm not entirely sane, so that helps too. Bruce, that's how it works. When it comes to being creative with alcohol, sanity does not help. Paul Musson, great questions, Michael. A score of 14. Paul, that's a proper score tonight. Kat, truthfully, was too busy drinking. Kat, listen, we're just happy you're here. I'm really pleased. Dave, 7, not a geek. No, not a geek, but you know, you're a passionate whiskey lover. That's cool. You know, we don't all have to be geeks. Barry, what you got? 5. I hate you, Michael. Michael, I actually thought you'd come out of this being loved by everyone, but it looks like you're properly hated. Michael's saying potentially 19 points. Actually, so Paul's 14 is pretty strong, actually. Any of you guys got better than that? We're looking for more than 14 for Paul. I'm not going to call the winner yet. I'm going to give you guys a chance to come in with your score. Cheryl's saying, so who's going to send Paul their recipe for me to try next week? Good question. Yeah, who is going to send? So while we are waiting for the scores to come in, and you can see that Cheryl is particularly interested in your creativity, who is going to send in a recipe? Now, the only thing I'm going to say to you, because we are Dream Whiskies, is that it has to be a whiskey-based recipe. Outside of that, go for it. And what I'm going to do is this. If you get your recipes to me for your cocktails for Cheryl for next week, get them to me by Monday at the latest. And then what I will do is I will pick my favorite 3. And then I will have Cheryl sitting here at the bar next week. I won't tell her about them. I will make those 3 cocktails throughout the broadcast for her, and we will let her choose the winner. And if you are the winner, we'll give you some kind of mega position on our website, plus we'll probably send you a little prize as well. So who's going to do it? Bruce, if you don't send in a recipe, I think Cheryl will be very disappointed with you. What are you saying? Let's see if this works. Link to the message for the drink. Pick. Wish we could post pictures directly. Yeah, that posting pictures directly thing is kind of difficult. I'm not sure if it's because I don't understand how to work the page properly, or whether it's just the way they control member pages. But I know what you mean, Bruce. I get that. Barry seriously twisted my poor little brain. Yeah, to Michael. Indeed. Paul Masson, I think you might be our winner tonight for the 3rd time. It looks like it. Listen, we asked that question again before we shut down and close this out and declare our winners for the night. We want some recipes in for next week. I will post this on the Facebook page. I might even send it out actually on the database as well. But send your messages in. What's that? Dave Chilton. Yeah, count me in to send a recipe. Thank you, Dave. Thank you. Kieran, Kat, I'm expecting you guys to send in recipe because I know that you both won cocktail kits from us. Bruce, I'm expecting you. Jeff, if you're still there, Jeff Candice, I don't know if you see it through to the whole broadcast, but it'd be great to get something from you. If any of you guys send in your recipes, I will pick 3 and we will have a live mix-off and judging with Cheryl live here as the judge next week. Well, is Bruce going to send a recipe? Michael, hoping he gets people to explore the whiskies from around the world. See, Michael is definitely on some kind of cause. Right, that's it. I'm calling it. Our winner is Paul Masson. Paul, congratulations. Well done. You are a Whiskey Geek of the Week this week. You actually go into the same category, I'm pretty sure. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's your 3rd win. If it's your 3rd win, you're in the same category as Michael and Kaz. If it's your 2nd win, you're still alive. But I'm going to bring Michael and Kaz back in pretty soon. But I think that's your 3rd win. So congratulations. You are our Whiskey Geek of the Week. I'm actually going to wipe it out now. Nobody is barred. Everyone is back in. So Michael and Kaz, you are both back in the game next week. Cheryl saying, woohoo! Can't wait, of course. Michael saying, well done, Paul. Michael, brilliant job. Thank you so much for your questions. Everybody else, thank you so much. Please send your cocktail recipes, your whiskey cocktail recipes in to me this week. Please don't make it later than Monday. I just don't have the time on Tuesdays and Wednesdays before the broadcast to start going through them. Get them to me by Monday. Then I have the time to do it. And we will have a live cocktail competition with your 3 best recipes with Cheryl as the judge next week. Until then, you know what I'm going to say. Stay safe. Keep away from COVID. Be happy. Be well. And thank you so much for being with us week in, week out. We will see you same time, same place next week. Be good.